is made possible by Next Lights, video lighting tools for filmmakers.
Hey guys, welcome to a brand new episode of DVTV, bringing you the next wave of digital video. I'm your host, Tony Reale, and today we're in Chicago, and I'm not sure actually what's going on. I got a tweet message from Dan Lenny, our friend at F-Stop Academy, and he said, Tony, you gotta come down to Chicago. I got something special to show you, top secret. And so we showed up at this giant building, and there's this gray door that we gotta go up to, and let's see what Dan's got planned for us.
Yeah, hey, Tony, cool, listen, you better come in.
All right, let's go. So,
basically, we've got this camera shootout happening here. It's the revenge of the Great Camera Shootout.
Really?
And it's happening in this soundstage right now. And if you like, I'll take you on a tour of what's going on.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's go this way.
So what we've got here is a series of empty boxes because we are testing a whole heap of cameras for this year's shootout. Now, Zacuto have been doing these shootouts for 3 years now, and they are now leading the way in independent camera testing because there's no politics, there's no manufacturers. It's like, we just pick the cameras and we test them. So we've been using the F3, FS100, we've got the Canon C300 there, and this is the real shocker. First of all, this is Mick Jones from Australia. Mick and I have been running the FS100 tests together, and they've been pretty mind-blowing. But this here is the new Canon 14.5 to 60 zoom lens, and this might look a bit odd, but actually this is for the iPhone 4S. We're going to stick the iPhone 4S through this lens to give us the best possible image going into the sensor. Have you got anything to add,
And
Mick?
it's just done its dynamic range test and has pulled out 11 stops, so it's going to be really interesting to see how that goes up against the other cameras.
So the thing that's really mind-blowing about this test is the little cameras are looking really impressive. And listen, someone has just popped in, right? I've got to bring him in. It's Vubui.
I just sold my Alexa to buy all iPhones.
Yeah.
I bought a lot of iPhones.
Yeah.
With the money that I got from selling my Alexa.
There's a lot of people here just kind of involved, quietly involved, doing stuff. But these guys, the other buoy's here. I don't know where he is.
We are the only buoys here.
Yeah, where's the other one though? The little one.
Usually. He's around here
Is he in this box?
Yeah.
Lan?
He was sleeping somewhere.
Anyway,
he fell in the toilet.
Ah, well.
Oh, again?
So listen, so that's what we're doing. Basically, the idea is that all of the cameras use the same lens, and we shoot on this soundstage. So if you like, I'll take you and show you the soundstage.
Yeah, come and check it out.
Come and check it out.
So this is the soundstage here at Flashpoint, Tribeca Flashpoint, and this is the scene that's been sort of pre-lit. They just finished shooting the GH2, so this is how they've lit it. They're about to reset the lighting back to the original baseline standard that all the cameras have to get in and shoot on. And the actors aren't in there at the moment, but you'll see we've got the other view from here for the translate. You can see how hot that is outside that window, and then the contrast that'll be formed with the light cutting across the floor as well. So we've got the jib here that the master shot starts up high, jib's down to a foreground, so there's a rack focus and a camera move and some action going through, and all the people are wearing different clothes and all kinds of stuff to really kind of put the camera through its paces in terms of aliasing and moire, and there's all these little tricky little set pieces that they've put into this test to really sort of separate and identify any of the normal issues that you'll get with these cameras, and then the DPs get to go in and try and adjust the lighting to overcome those kind of obstacles.
And the thing is, the whole point of lighting it this way is so it's challenging. So we're really putting the cameras through their paces to see how they handle extremes of highlight, extremes of shadow, and lots of movement and colour and texture. There's lots of glass on the set, there's lots of fine detail, there's like M&Ms, there's like flowers. There's so many challenging things, and the action happens. This black guy walks along this very, very brightly lit scene into a dark scene, opens the door, light floods into the room, And it's the most challenging for even the Alexa. But what's been fascinating is seeing how some of the cameras have really performed exceptionally well. And I mean, the FS100's done really well.
Amazing. That was great.
But you know, the iPhone, we're about to test the iPhone, and I can't wait to see, because that thing's got 10 or 11 stops of range.
That's going to be really interesting to see how they identify what part they're going to expose for and how they're going to handle that. It's going to be really interesting because it's got, you know, the new iPhone's 1920 1080, isn't it? So
that's it.
It's got some resolution there as well. So
yeah. So let me just talk you through how this is being lit. We've got something called a translight, which is a large photographic representation of an exterior scene. If you come down here, guys, this is being lit by some pretty serious lighting over here, which is blasting loads of light through the translight. We've got a 5K up here, which is throwing a lot of light on the doorway, and a rack of Kino flows giving us daylight. The idea of this is to push the cameras as far as we can into a very challenging lighting situation. So the DP who's lit this, a guy called Bruce Logan, ASC, and if you want to know how Bruce Logan is, go and check out IMDb, because that guy's done some serious stuff. He's lit it to make it challenging, so we're having a lot of light coming in the window here, and then we'll take you around the front of the set and you'll see how it fades off.
Yeah, the light cuts across the floor, quite a contrast, creating a really contrasty image that all the cameras are going to do their best to try and retain as much as they can from the highlights that everyone seems to be picking on the back of on the translight here, right through to the shadows in the foreground, and trying to build their lighting setup to keep the cameras in that range to capture as much info as they can.
But also, the translight looks kind of artificial. So the skill of the cinematographer is to light that, well, it's lit, but to expose it in a way and color grade it in a way that makes it look realistic, not like someone's painted on a backdrop. So, listen, I'm just a small part of this test. This test would not happen without the support of Zacuto. It's their brainchild. Steve, this is camera shootout number 3. Why
number 5.
Number 5. Number 5, my colour. So why do you keep doing them? Because you know, it's a big investment. Why do you keep doing them?
Well, the last 2 Eric has helped me with, you know, from Kessler Crane, so we got to acknowledge him. He's been a financial supporter, and we got to acknowledge all the people that give us equipment, you know, and their time and whatnot. There's still there's an enormous amount of cost.
It's a big community to get involved, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's like you say, it's a huge amount of cost, and I just I do it for 2 reasons. One, I think that it's necessary that people understand that filmmaking is more than just I got to buy this camera, I got to buy this camera, I got to buy this camera. I mean, I think the real message in this shootout is many of these cameras can look the same, and what you need to focus on is your talent. And spend time learning how to light, look at photos, look at paintings, watch films, and it's all about light. It's not about cameras. It really isn't. You know, a movie like The Celebration. Remember that film?
I don't remember it now.
It's one of the first Dogma ones, Lars von Trier. He shot it with one of those little vertical DV cameras with the little flippy screen. $1 million budget. All of it was put into the actors. And the script is amazing, and after the first 5 seconds, the camera thing becomes completely out of your head. Sound is good, which is critical, and it proves that it's all story.
And what is it about?
Oh, there was a second reason.
Okay.
The second reason is because, you know, Jens and I have been filmmakers for 30 years, and we're really interested in making the actual shootout as an expression of our filmmaking.
Right.
You can see.
And this year is big. It's big. It's a very challenging set. We've got an amazing DP running the test. Tell me about that.
Well, we're just like honored to have Bruce Logan, ASC, running this test. I mean, first off, he's a lovely man. He's just very easy to deal with. He's into it. He's been in the industry forever. Worked with Stanley Kubrick. Did the original Tron movies. Worked on Star Wars. You know.
Yeah. He's done some stuff.
Yeah, he's done some stuff, but he's got a vision for the test, and Originally, he and I this year I got a little more involved in the beginnings of the test, kind of directed the talent, worked with him a little bit, but then I backed off. I'm out.
Yeah.
And I just focused, and you can vouch for me.
Yeah,
I just
absolutely.
focused on my documentary,
Yeah.
which is really what I want. I want to make my documentary great.
So there's two things. There's a test, and then there's a documentary
There's always
about
that.
the making of the test.
Yeah, there's always that. I make my film, which is Bruce's vision of creating this test. And last year was the same thing. The year before was the same thing. I always make documentaries. That's what I do. Whether it's of people in a bike race or whatever it is, it happens to be the story of Bruce and his goal to do this test.
And you've pulled in people from all over the world who've literally come in to just be part of this.
It's incredible.
Well, I've come from Scotland. Mick's come from Australia.
Yeah.
Holly Morgan's, she's based in LA, but she's English. I mean, incredible people at this event.
Yeah, we got Rodney Charters. We have a lot of ASC people. Nancy Schreiber. Just so many people want to get involved. It's incredible that this many people want to get involved. This Flashpoint Academy just lent us this beautiful sound stage. The color timing we're doing at Filmworkers Club in Chicago, I mean, my God, that would cost a living fortune. We're using the latest base light. It was installed 2 weeks ago. And I mean, besides the whole documentary part of it, although I'm getting a lot of gotcha moments, which you love in documentary filmmaking, it's pretty shocking what I'm seeing in some of this stuff.
Right.
And you've seen it too.
Yeah. And so where does this camera shootout go from here? How do you make it different next year? I mean, do we get people involved to tell us what they want to see? How do you
Well,
make
this
it
year's going
different?
to be very different from, the 2010 one was kind of more of a sort of comical thing. It kind of had its own little deal. The 2011 one was more of a real science experiment. And this one I see as a totally different, I'm really going off the deep end here in the storytelling of this. It's not really gonna be so much based on the tech of the whole thing. You're gonna see the tech, but it's gonna be more about cinematography and art form and craft and lighting and there's so much, I don't even have it all framed out in my head yet. Basically, when you do a documentary, you kind of do interviews, you document everything that happens, and then it mutates, and then you go from there, and it mutates, and you go from there, and I don't know where this is going yet. But
well, listen, keep doing them. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, God,
And,
I love having you.
Thanks for letting these guys have a bit of you as well.
Yeah, terrific.
Want more Next Wave DV in your life? Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube to be notified when the next episode airs. Visit our website for daily posts on the latest digital video news. Like us on Facebook to join the Next Wave DV community. And follow us on Twitter for behind-the-scenes news and pictures.